Today is 30th of April, and it is Wednesday, 2014, and it is about 3:10 in the afternoon, and George, as usually, is initiating for colleagues on the board, our colleagues on the board, rather than a written note with observation from the main task which he achieved in the last 2 days at the hub on behalf of the board and the chairman, which is annual appraisal of staff, is he will be making a short webcast which will be sent by our smart team, Joseph, as soon as we finish. Of course, that will be backed up by the usual formal appraisals of each staff with comments and all the rest of it. So I'm very glad that George introduces, as ever since 1984, new approaches, both in terms of evolving more interaction among our colleagues on the board, as well as more engagement. So as I remember myself, in 1984-85, we were grasping again with an idea of indicators. And indicators were usually connected with numbers. And we were saying, myself and the numbers, that we shouldn't look at numbers, we should look at numerals, at quality. So this is how we met George. George experimented with quality indicators. So here is he this time, trying to brief all our colleagues, having had a discussion with our chairman Omar in the morning, and also with Jan van Loop a little bit about other issues, as well as hopefully he might with Carl Robert, but on one other separate issue. So George, I would almost say, after we finish this webcast, including a few other words separately from this, thank you very much for again joining me as director on the board and CEO to be part of what we call appraisal. And while it is a formality built in, and we have our senior corporate affairs and so on with the human resource expertise present from time to time, this discussion in the last two days with about 11 of staff was more of a professional engagement beyond just the mere filling of forms and discussion about ordinary things. So we ended up, in addition to day by day, from Monday in the morning at about 9:30 up to today, up to yesterday at about kind of 3 o'clock, 3:30, we ended up with today a discussion with also staff, overall discussion and comments from them and all the rest of it. And I like to ask George to make some general comments which he wants to share with you only. This webcast will be only sent to yourselves. So he will be ready to explore more questions from you after you listen to his comments. Please.
Michaela, thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to have another a session on appraisal. This is the excuse, as it were, to do the appraisal, but to have a meeting with you, an interactive meeting. I would like to tell my colleagues that the board, that in addition to these presentations that we make and introduction,
which are all here, one by one,
there may be a report direct to the board when we would meet again as a board. A few things would go down in written form, but most of the discussion may be verbal and interactive. Well, again, thank you. It was a pleasure to be here, Michaela. I was here last year on the same occasion of staff appraisal, and this year I felt even better than last year, because last year I appreciated the dynamism among the staff that you have here, Michaela, who's helping you, and though there were some weak spots, as it were, everybody was willing to think how to evolve and how to improve, self-improvement, and to set targets for this year. And now we had the opportunity to review their performance, and they were happy, and I was happy to see that so much of what we said last year has actually been implemented. Of course, you had new staff coming in the last 11 months
That's
or so.
it, kind of
And
3-4 staff.
what I appreciated, Michaela, was that though they are new members of staff, they have been trying to integrate with the older members of staff, benefit from them, but also injected into the group their own expertise and their own views on things. And the group now operates like a team. And we discussed this idea of a team as opposite to a group, and that the team has a mission and a job description, and everybody performs a function to implement that, the tasks that are required. So, in summary, the staff, old and new, are more confident now what they have to do. They are prepared to learn and complement the areas where they need further staff development and personal development, and to make their contribution. They want to cooperate with their colleagues to work together. And of course, the thing that we identified as contributing to a more effective teamwork is how to improve on the matrix. Now you have a staff matrix where you have the staff and the job that has to be done. The staff matrix is reviewed every week or every 2 weeks or whenever is necessary. And after discussing things with them, when you would improve on the version matrix, so that it would be clear who's in charge of different tasks and who's assisting, and make it as publicly known to everybody what they are doing. And if it is on the computer, every time you have a new version, then everybody again knows what is the new pattern and
actually
arrangement.
what you referred to as a new version, because they didn't quite, when Tom remarked, what you're talking in terms of attaching names of people.
One is attaching names of people
or
to
new
jobs.
tasks.
But if somebody for some reason may come to you and say, I need an assistant to do it, then you add the name of the assistant. If somebody would come and say, for personal reasons, I don't have enough time to do it, could somebody take over and I shall perform as an assistant, then that somebody else's name appears there as being in charge, and the other fellow's, the other person's name appears as an assistant. But everybody knows that there has been a change, and somebody else takes over, either offering assistant work or performing a main job. And as you said, you have now your consultant on HR, human resource, Lisa, and with her and you and myself, we can work out the new system, as it were, of how to
build it into the matrix.
Yes, how to build it into the matrix. And when the staff feels comfortable with it, we implement it like that, yes. Yeah. So I'm optimistic and happy that the hub is working together to help implement the mission of CPTM, whether it is dialogues, whether it's network, whether it's country tasks, whether it's particular issues that need to be dealt with.
About the DON, demystifying DON function. If you could mention, because the director.
Yes. Previously we had sort of a corporate affairs manager at DON.
But which?
Yes, who was looked upon as a senior person after you, who was fully informed of what has to be done, and you were in continuous communication with him. So staff, when they wanted clarification, they would go to DON. When they had a problem, they would go to DON. DON would supervise them. Have you done this? Show me the progress report, and so on.
Now, that's his own way of doing
it's his own way, naturally. Now DON is gone away. We miss his services, and the staff now, they were not quite sure, do I take part of what Don was doing because I've been here more years and I'm senior and therefore I can perform a few things, or everybody goes his own way, or how do we do it? So we are lucky that we have
the support for today's
for today's
corporate affairs
of corporate
Mervyn.
For Mervyn. Now Mervyn, though he is a lawyer, he seems to have fit into the system.
He's trying hard
and
to
trying
do more
very
than
hard beyond the legal matters that need to be done and documents and so on and letters. He's been interested to look into other areas, human resource and day-to-day work, and be briefed about dialogues and other activities,
finance,
so that with your help and your information that you pass on to him, he can substitute, as it were, for Dawn to some...
I mean, there was this question, which up to now, for all last year, since January, that the staff feels that they have to, first of all, they need to refer to somebody. Now, that somebody is not there from the point of view of overall governance, board, tasks, IT, whatever it is, holidays and all the rest of it. So we try to bits and pieces of that tasks, in addition to the core business, which Mervyn did. Some staff thought that they are doing it. Now, of course, they're very helpful to step in to do a few things, but they cannot be a Don function senior. There has to be a presence which is senior, legitimately connected with the chief executive type, that they feel they go to and they have an answer, which
so
if they can't get
you may appoint a corporate affairs manager. Mervyn
so we asked Mervyn,
most of that.
But we need to tell staff that this is from now on, on one aspect, and then the finance manager is another one.
The situation up to now was that we had Nadia doing the bookkeeping part, and we had Nigel doing the financial management,
the accounting, the higher level,
Now,
he wasn't doing the finance
part-timer here, and Nigel was a part-timer here, and there were days
and they are consultants.
That that none of them was present. And when Nadia was away, it didn't mean that Nigel was here.
3 times half day.
Or there were times that Nigel was here for 2 days.
Or half a day each day, 2 days.
Now it was agreed that
every day.
every day there would be somebody here.
Some finance
it's
present.
It's either Nadia or Nigel. And when Nigel is here, in performing his duties as a financial manager and accounting manager, he would also perform some bookkeeper's job if the need arises. So on behalf of Nadia, he will do it and pass it on to Nadia.
So in other words, the staff will know that they are not doing finance management or finance accounting or administrative.
Yeah.
But there is a finance function present every day, even if it is for half day.
And that for one day or one morning, both Nadia and Nigel will be present, so that they can interact with the rest of the staff on things that they want to tell the staff.
But we have a finance meeting.
Yes, finance meeting with the rest of everybody.
Not with myself.
And with
we
yourself,
update the cash flow in between.
Guide other people on preparing a budget for
and they can do that.
Activities and tasks. Yeah. So
well, I think that was quite, if it works, that was quite a breakthrough.
Yeah.
The only other thing was that I mean this training, the training, development or self-development.
Right.
There was a feel that because there is such a big gap between the conceptual and the intricacies of the issues that we are dealing with, they are exposed to do support that, be it in making quick, with my guidance, quick kind of to understand quickly, to put together quickly something that I dictate. But even if I dictate, so to speak, they need to understand the background. And that lack of understanding of multiple issues may give a bit of a negative feel for where I'm going.
It was necessary to understand it, also to work as a team.
So we initiated, we asked everybody, each who came in, to see in what way we could discuss, one of the staff. In fact, Joseph suggested that besides small talk in the team in the engine, could one initiate somehow? And there was a discussion just now how to deal with that. Somehow about updating on substantive issues. So
and that you have a meeting, a regular meeting, once
a
week
that
or every 2 weeks, where everybody is informed
about quality,
everything
standards,
is happening, and who does what, and who has to do emergency arrangements for extraordinary things.
But it's particularly the substance. Because if people don't understand the actual substance, not
they cannot
only
take
the
initiative that would be
can't take initiative.
Of some value.
They feel negative about it because they feel overwhelmed with things that they have to do mechanically. So that's one other important thing. I mean, there were one or two other things, but majority of
and it is self-development. New ones would associate with the more experienced ones. New ones brought in new skills and new abilities, so some of the older members would benefit from them as a continuous interaction. Only a few situations where they may have to go and attend a course, a short course, or a seminar about a particular issue, or a hands-on experience, like broadcasting or something.
We said that we may expose to live broadcasting, to at Institute of Directors maybe a course about project management, or one or two things of that nature. But otherwise, well, I think that was about it, wasn't it?
Yes, and we can look forward optimistically that things will improve, and the effectiveness and the efficiency of the hub.
You had a bit of a glimpse at the smart wall in the chat room.
Yes, and then the system that you have there, and the rearrangement in the engine room, where each pair or group of people, team of people who are concentrated in a particular area, Their desks are very close to each other.
Yeah.
So
there is a rearrangement in the whole hub, in particular in the engine.
Yes, an engineer thing that seems to work. And the environment there is information on the wall here and there, what is happening, what the plans are,
and the smart
as well as the...
which they can fill in or adapt as you go along.
Yeah.
But there is a need for more inducement for that.
Right.
And there is this problem about, in addition to myself, who else would do it? And I did leave a question with the staff when we finished. Hopefully it wasn't misunderstood, but it was a question of, besides myself, one of them, may they take turns, they need to take an initiative to observe. Did we adapt it, the smart world plan?
Well, what I was impressed about, Michaela, was that this smart world, where it has the planning of everything until December, or even beyond in 2015, we had a Cyprus somewhere there. It wasn't put by yourself.
No, that's why I wanted you to
and
say.
And other people had an overall picture, and they put it down there.
Yes.
So it was a group work there.
Yes.
Everybody knew what to put down, appreciated the consequences.
There were two who led, but everybody else tried to.
That was.
So that was very good, and hopefully we'll continue on that. Okay. Well, I suppose that's about it. That.
Thank you, Michaela.
No. Thank you to you, George.
I'll have the opportunity to report to the board again at the AGM or when we have a board meeting.
Okay. Okay then. So I hope if you have obviously more detailed question about particular aspects of the hub functions and staff that you are aware of that are performing those functions, or they could do more, or you could offer some training or whatever. George on the board is a point of reference. I want to thank also Dr. Andrew Tausig that he stood for George about a week ago to review Rebecca, who had to be away this week. So
we had an interaction with him.
But he came on Monday and they touched base, Andrew and George, about Rebecca's appraisal and about general other aspects that need to be built in appraisal. So, thank you very much, George.
Thank you,